Okay, so hello, welcome to our first new location, new year talk of this year. So that's okay. That should be still picking up. It's very good with microphone. So today we have Dominik Hanák talking about jBPM. About new location, if you have any questions, just ask me offline, not here. Toilets are to the left, so you will find them. And yeah, Dominik, floor is yours.
Okay. Hello everyone, good evening. So today we will be talking about power of business automation. I'm mostly focused on jBPM project, which is maybe you know it, JBoss BPM, so business automation area. I'm Dominik Hanák, currently software developer at IBM, and I've been working on business automation for almost 11 years. Started as an intern in the team around jBPM, and I'm still there, so it's not boring. Well, so the talk is situated a bit like a history and evolution of this project, where it was, where it began, and how it evolved towards cloud, and eventually integration with AI agents, etc. Okay, so the topics that I will cover is briefly introduce the domain about business automation, what is business process, and then introduce the jBPM project, some basic, some really quick showcase about the monolithic era, the beginnings, and then how it evolved in the community, with the community feedback and different areas that we as a community try to innovate and do. So yeah, let's see. And at the end, I'll showcase Quarkus Flow, which is the latest, let's say, bleeding edge work that jBPM project and people in the community are working on. Okay, so before we begin, just a quick overview of where in open source we are, because everything here is open source, what I will be talking about. So we are in Apache KIE community, which is where you can now find the projects like jBPM, Drules, and Optaplanner. Those are quite big names, or were big names. And also Kogito, SonataFlow, which are the, spoiler alert, the evolutions of jBPM for cloud, and a lot of tools. And also we'll be also operating on the Cloud Native Computing Foundation and Serverless Workflow project. So first up, what is process? Cambridge Dictionary defines as a series of actions that you take in order to achieve a result. So essentially you can call everything that has some goal a process and some steps. So to refill car, you do some activities, some actions, and the result, you can depart and you can drive the car again, or even teeth cleaning, you brush, you floss, and then you shine, right? So there's a result. We'll be talking about business processes, because that's what jBPM is about. So if we ask, if we know what is process, we add the business keywords. So the business process can be defined as a repeatable sequence of tasks that are performed by people or systems to achieve a specific organizational business goal, right? So in the picture you can see some high-level example what can happen in a process. You started somewhere, there can be human interaction, right? Then you can do some decisions based on some process data, trigger some services, again, whatever your heart desire or whatever your business needs. Do some human interaction again, reuse something else, like reuse some other business process that you established already in your company. Again, integrate another service, and then the process ends with some goal. Yeah, we can imagine it like baking a pizza, from hiring someone, or anything that is important for your business to cover. Okay, so next keyword that we'd like to explain is business process management. So naturally you would like to, once you identify business processes in your company or business, you would like to manage them and what it is. So This is a definition that you can find almost in every single material when you try to figure out what it is. So it's some ongoing practice of analyzing, designing and optimizing business processes to improve your business outcomes, performance, efficiency, anything. So it usually is 5 phases. You can find definition with 4 or 6, but in general they always either merge 2 phases together or expand on some phases. So it usually starts with design phase. So you take your company, your business, and then you identify what is structured enough that I can track or design as a process, and write it down as a series of steps that produce something, right? So once you have this, you model it, which means that you take your understanding of the process and write it in some formal language. In our case, it will be BPM and 2 specification or serverless workload specification. So it's something common that you can share, reuse, and developers can use to build on. And then once you have these processes written in a formal way, you can execute them. So it will be running, several instances, depends how much stuff you do in your business. And these executions are logged in some databases, and you can use the data from the processes to the decisions, to optimize, to figure out where are the bottlenecks, etc. So, and this is like never-ending process. So that's the monitor phase, where you essentially look at everything you did, how you did it, what are the performance indicators that you like, which are bad, and based on that you can optimize. So you again look at the process that you already created and figure out that, okay, I see that on this task we have a bottleneck where, let's say, HR interviews are not meeting the demand, or are taking too much time to review a candidate. So you can either introduce some timeouts or do any action that you think of to improve it. You remodel, execute the new version, and this is like a never-ending cycle, right? Again, also external factors can make you update the process, etc. So this is business process management. And to expand on this formal definition, so business process management is not a technology but a discipline. And like the main goals would be formalization, exposure of your business activities, right? You want to introduce continuous improvement to company efficiency. So your business goals are achieved in a better way, or faster, or more efficiently. Iteratively recognize problems, bottlenecks, and essentially improve how everything is done, how the work is being done. Because if you don't have data, you can just do guesswork. Like business process management allows you to make decisions based on data, not just because you feel that something is going slowly. Okay? And what are the benefits? It formalizes companies' activities, which can be important if you are, for example, working for governments. You can pair your activities or your processes to some legislative, for example. Everyone in the company has the same understanding of the process. So if it's written down in a formal language and some standard, has some model, you can show it to everyone, and it's easier to understand and get everyone on the same page. And yeah, so if you know your processes, it helps you in standardization, training of new employees, and all of these benefits that I'm writing here, like bottlenecks, you can identify duplication, etc. So that's why I would like business process management is beneficial for businesses to do. So let's start with some example. This should be natural to everyone. So let's say you have a business and every business needs to hire, right? So this is how a process of hiring could look like. Again, this doesn't 100% is not one-to-one to real world. This is just example we have in jBPM project, but you would customize it to your own needs, okay? But what it does, so it can be triggered, let's say when it's executed, some new hiring, you get some process data, there's some offers, some skills, some attributes that you define and you want to measure, okay? So you get a new hiring. If you can, this is a decision node. So let's say if the skills are not appropriate, you can immediately decline him. So it doesn't even take time from your HR people. So the submitted resumes, if you collect the data from it, and it's not like you just denied it, and it's already sped up where your HR department doesn't need to waste time reviewing everything. It will only get the ones that match the criteria, for example. Right, so then we create the offer. This is, for example, can be automated. So the offers are automatically created in a system. And once that is created, we have some human interactions where, in general, the HR people will log into the system and interact, submit some data, submit some results. And if everything goes smoothly, it passes HR, IT interviews, you can send offer to candidate, which again can be automated. You can send email with the form generated, etc. And yeah, of course, you can control things like timeouts. If the interview doesn't happen in 1 week, you send a notification that no one joined the interview, or you can see what happened and decline the application again. Yeah. So this is like the basic concept, and you can design it for anything that your business requires. So, and lastly, what is business automation? There's a definition. It's the use of technology to automate repetitive manual business tasks and processes, transform them into digital workflows in order to bring benefits to your business. So, basically, you can think about the business processes as maps that help you navigate towards specific goals. Then you have the business process management, which could be like a navigator. And the business automation is like all the technology around it that allows you to automate it, so you don't need to do it manually. Yeah, and benefits, yeah, so if you do business automation, you are increasing the operational efficiency, you are reducing costs, like automating repetitive tasks, you are able to streamline workflows, and also faster development because you are always building on top of something that was already proved that works. Right, so I would figure out that the IT interview is useless, so I just remove it and the process can go again. Okay, so yeah, business agility, so similar to thing, you can adapt to changes easily. If you have a process defined, you need to reuse it in different areas, you can do it easily, and you are never starting from scratch. And also better compliance, which means that yeah, because you have it defined as a process in a concrete way, you can comply to new regulations or adapt these processes easily to actually implement things like security, or you have like, let's say, audit trail. Right? I started here, then there was a new government legislature, I updated the process like this, now I'm actually like, yes, what's the word? Now I'm meeting the demand of the government, for example. Yeah, and improved customer experience. So based on the process data or all of the automation, you can identify where are the customers having bottlenecks, which services are not meeting their demand, etc. Yeah. And here I'm just sharing a quote from my colleague Mario Fusco. So almost anything in a business domain can be expressed as a process or rule, and it's a matter of recognizing patterns to be able to avoid repetition and mistakes, and by that automating your business. I just like the quote, and I think it's a very nice sentence and explanation of the benefits of business automation and sharing it. So what now? Now we'll be talking about jBPM. So jBPM is an open source toolkit for building business application to help you automate your businesses. I'm mentioning also decisions there, but it's not the primary focus, but just so you know, businesses require rules, and there's another project called Rules, which allows you to integrate rules to the business process management. And jBPM works closely together with it. So that's why it's mentioned there. So what is jBPM? At its core, it's a lightweight extensible workflow engine, and it's written in Java and allows you to execute business processes using the latest BPM and 2.0 specification, which is created by OMG. It can run embedded in your application, so if you already have your systems, you can just plug it in, or you can create new applications where it will basically be running as a service for you on demand. What it does, so it essentially provides you a lot of capabilities that should simplify you and externalize the business logic into reusable assets like business processes, cases, decisions, etc. And yeah, so business processes, that's the main focus of this talk, but you can also do case management, that's similar, another specification, DMN, which allows you to integrate or make decisions in your business processes based on some rules, similar with DRL, and also solver, but that's not that important. So here's some overview about how it was designed before. Like currently, if I would specify the timeline, these are the beginnings. Or let's say like 5 or 6, 7 years ago, where it was designed as a monolith. So you would have some runtime manager where the engine would be with identity management, human task services. It would have persistence and transaction, audit the history logs. And on top of it would be some additional services that you would need, like monitoring, and all of that would be covered in one big application that would be provided user interface, modeling tools, etc. Here's a more detailed picture. So it's called jBPM Suite, which can be described as a massive ecosystem of tools bundled into one suite on top of the jBPM engine. So it runs on EAP on premise, and you have some repository, all of the business rules, processes, tasks, etc. On top you have some modeling tools. It's huge. I will show you. So here is, now I will show you. Okay, hopefully this won't break. It did? No, it didn't. Great. Yeah. So this is it. This is the big console. Bigger. Okay. Yeah, so this is a big console. It usually works, you would deploy this somewhere and your employees would log in and do stuff. And based on some roles, they would see different screens, but ultimately it's one big monolith which you deploy on there. So I would, nope. Yeah. So this is the welcome screen. So in general, you have lots of stuff. You can manage groups views. So identity management is baked in. You can add data sources, data sets, lots of stuff. But the main part I would like to show you is that I would, let's say, define a project. This is evaluation process. Here I can update the process and model it. So this is a simple process where you evaluate yourself, then the HR evaluates you, and the evaluation is stored in the system. Yeah, so as part of this thing, there's an execution server which allows you to execute your processes, create your endpoints, etc. But ultimately, you would see a process definition that is being run. I'm executing it from UI, but there are REST services directly deployed by the console, so you have it. And here there's a form that is also generated for you when you create your business process, and you can input data and some reasoning. So this could be done by whoever in the company is required to do so. And now I have the process started. So let's say some other employee would join, and he would see the task inbox. He can click the task, start it, and figure out that, oh, someone is evaluating and performance. So he needs to add some performance. So let's add some number, complete it, and then a new task got triggered. So you can watch the process. You can see what are the variables, when they were inputted, who did that. You can see the diagram, where the process currently is, etc. So if you have some processes that are not progressing, you can see who is not actually doing them. And you would, again, pick some other, claim the task, update the performance, then the PM would come, do the same thing. Maybe he will give me more points. And now I'm done. Okay, so the process instance is done. And this is like the common thing that how the execution would happen. You would have the data, right? Then you can somehow monitor those things. So, for example, here you can see some tools that can be done. So you can create process heat maps and use them to monitor what's happening. You can create, based on some data sets in the database, like you want to identify which node is taking the most time, etc. So this is very, I'm sorry, this doesn't look nice because it's zoomed and it's old technology, so it's not very good. But again, what I'm trying to send is big monolith has everything. Okay. So, and this is where kind of like the showcase stops, and let's get back to the presentation. Great. So this is a big, just quick showcase out how it was. Okay. And if you want to learn more, this BPM suite is still alive. It's just moved, or it's being developed in different places. So currently, it's under IBM as a business automation manager open editions. And yeah, if you want to learn something, you can check out this link. They're currently integrating new functionalities and essentially trying to allow you to just example. Where's the process here? So the service interaction can also be some AI interaction. So they are natively implementing those things that you can just pick AI task and call some LLM. It's very cool stuff. You can, if you are interested, check it out. Good. So now, the evolution of jBPM. What was the path taken and how it ended? So this is like a brief diagram about it. So at the beginning there was some workflow engine. Then we implemented BPM and 2.0. We integrated rules, constraints, so jBPM and rules together. New tooling was built on top. Yeah, like monitoring tools, editors, etc. More and more. Essentially, cloud came. So we needed to adapt this to cloud native, so it's better. And if you think about the big monoliths are not very good at cloud, right? Because you don't need everything, and you don't want to run something that takes 6 gigabytes of memory on cloud just to execute processes. So Kogito and SonataFlow came to life First Kogito, then SonataFlow. So those two things I will be talking about. So before Apache KIE, we were our own Red Hat community in open source, managed mostly by Red Hatters, but in order to streamline collaboration and be more open source, we migrated everything to Apache KIE community, currently incubating, but hopefully will soon be integrated fully. And most of the project moved there, okay? So now there is like a Kogito stream and SonataFlow stream together. It was like a bit later than when the Kogito was established. SonataFlow came to life as well. So the community is essentially working like this. There's a stable core, the jBPM engine, the rules, always there, and it's built on top of it. So it's really battle tested. A lot of years went into the development, and a lot of innovation happening on top of it. Something goes to trash, something stays and goes to the stable core. Yeah, like Python integration, AI integration, etc. Everything's happening innovation side. So let's talk about what is Kogito. Kogito. We have this battle in our teams very much a lot. So Kogito is cloud-native business automation tool for building intelligent applications. So it allows you to take business processes, and using these business processes, you can create some application that would run on cloud easily. It's powered by jBPM, so Kogito takes the good parts of jBPM, removes the, let's say, cumbersome parts that were only developed because the monolith application needed them, and it's designed from ground up to run at scale, okay? So it's designed for cloud. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And the BPM and 2 standard is still the basic thing, so you would write your business processes using that. And what the project wanted to achieve is that you take your business processes and decisions and you deploy them on cloud, and you have your service that does what you need. Some more things about Kogito. Kogito adapts to your business domain, so you don't need to modify your domain to work with Kogito. You just export your Kogito service with domain-specific APIs based on the processes and decision definitions that you already have. So yeah, that's like you just provide process and everything else is generated for you. We have compared to the monolithic approach from the suite, the tooling is embeddable, so you can only use what you need, or you don't need to use the whole central. You just take the modeler, decision modeler. There are a lot of editors in the jBPM space, each for different things, but you can even take them and deploy them in your own applications. So they were like modularized a lot. So in Kogito there's code generation, and like 80% of the work is done by the code generation. So you just provide your process, and we create endpoints, the application necessary, Java classes, whatever you need, and you have it ready. So you just need to provide the business process or accompanying rules if you need, and some configuration that is specific to wherever you are trying to deploy it. Yeah, it's very flexible, so you can pick and choose what you want. If you do not need persistence, you don't need to use it. If you need persistence, you use it, right? If you do not need some, let's say, callbacks, timeouts, you don't need to use it. Okay, if you want messaging, you can use it. If you don't want messaging, you don't need to use it. Yeah, so it's very much customizable, and the development is streamlined and simplified because it's built on top of Quarkus, so we have the UI capabilities like the hot reload, so the productivity in Kogito is way better than you had before with the monoliths. And if you can imagine, the web console or the business central would be very cumbersome, so it could break a lot, so you would need to restart it. Sometimes you couldn't save process, etc. So this is a big improvement. And here is like how the design should work. So you would create your Kogito services, which would be your business processes as a microservice. You can interconnect them with different other services you already have. And yeah, and that's like the basic. So your business process would become a microservice that runs in cloud. You can connect them to other services. So it simplifies, helps you like bridge, let's say, different parts of business with some process if you need. Yeah, it's dedicated distributed cloud. Yeah, okay, simple. And then we have like add-ons. So this is like the example of how to configure your Kogito application. So all you need to do is, if you want events processing, you just added the extension to your POM XML and you are good to go. This slide is about examples. I will not probably open it because of the way the presentation setup is done, but the whole community offers roughly 50-70 examples on how to use it. So you can see examples how to use it on Quarkus, on Spring Boot, some tooling examples. But essentially, there's a nice quick start experience for you that if you are trying to implement some timeouts, you have example that shows you how to do it, which wasn't that prevailing at the monolithic times. And here we have again a demo, how to build the application. So let me change again. And, I didn't touch it. Oh yeah. Možná maybe that side. No, I think it's this contact, but I didn't even move anything, so maybe. Oh.
That's me.
Okay.
Do not touch.
Well, okay, it's mirroring, great. Yeah, apologies for this. Now let's find the correct window. Yeah, it's this one. So, how would you build an application with Kogito? Okay, so this is a showcase. I'll try to walk you through it, but this is what you would do. So you would create a project. Depends on what you need, but this is one of the examples we have in community again. So let's say we will showcase the process component architecture, which is like the go-to thing we currently tell our users to do in Apache KIE community. So you create your projos, so these are just something that represents your data, right? It will be business dependent, so here we have candidate data and some offer. Yeah, so category salary, and the candidate, I usually name, last name, experience, skills. And then, yeah, we have the project. You can add, basically these are the, let's say, modular things you want to add to Kogito. So if you want persistence, you would add these 3 extensions, like Quarkus JDBC plus Quarkus LGRL, and key add-ons, Quarkus JDBC, which uses these 2 to actually provide you persistence. And here, so once you have this, you would model your process. Okay, so we already see this. So this is like a new hiring process. And what is new here is this one. So this task is business rule task. It integrates the rules parts. So it allows you to specify things like what you should do with what and how to do it. So it's a DMN. Anyone know what DMN is? It's decision model notation, but essentially it tells you that you get candidate data, and based on this data, do something. Yeah, so let's make it nicer. Okay, this is good. Yeah, so this is the rule task, or the rules I've been speaking about. But you basically say that if the candidate experience is 0 to 5 years, it's, let's make it bigger. If candidate experience is 0 to 5 years included, and he's software engineer, he gets this salary and some salary bonus, etc. So these are like the business rules, how you operate, and yeah, it also, he's like the auditor. You would see that you changed it on, let's say, 1st of February to, let's say, I don't know, increase the salaries because of inflation, etc. So this is the rules part, and again, as you can see, there's an editor. So this editor would be baked into the monolith. Now it's just as a extension for VS Code. There are many more like options. You can take it as a standalone package. It's published on NPM registry, or you can use some Chrome. You have Chrome extensions that allow you to directly view this on GitHub. Many tools. And then, so you would have these 2. Well, basically you can see that in the process, this is paired to the DMN file that we just created. And the whole process has some sort of process data that is being used. So here it's connected to the candidate data object that we created, an offer object that we created, and these individual activities do something with it. So for example, new hiring is just a script task which runs a script in Java and sets some variables. Okay? Then later down the line, you can, for example, see that the HR interview, this is a human task, but these tasks usually have some assignments where they would see the candidate data, offer an approval, and they would, as an output of the task, would be some approval or the offer. Yeah. So you would do this, and then you can run it. For Kogito, we don't have like baked in bigger. Okay, so for Kogito, we don't have like baked in capabilities to, or tools or CLI tools that will take it and deploy it to Kubernetes. So I will just showcase it then with using Docker that will be running on my local host with more. Does it? Yeah, it does. And now maybe there's something already running. There is. I'm sorry. So I already built the application and created the containers, but again, it seems to be broken. And that, oh, I see. I have something running and I don't know what. So this is why we don't do live demos, right? Or oh, thank you very much. You are correct. With everything, I forgot to turn it off. Thank you very much. Okay, great. So we solved the problem, and we don't need this anymore. And or not. So you can find this example in our community. Okay, so there's explanation how it runs, what is there, how to use stuff. I will just use this also, wrong port. So what I'm showing you is a management console, which is, I'll make it bigger, just one sec. Which is, again, modular, part of the huge monolith modularized into simple application. Which again is up to user here in Kogito space, how it deploys it, how it runs it, or where he wants to deploy it, okay? It can be like integrated with Keycloak, for example, so if you need logging capabilities, which are not shown because it's just a dev mode, but you can have them. So people would log in, and you can see some process instances, tasks, and jobs, so you can, again, manage the processes same way you did. And I will just trigger some so we can see, so we can see, again, as I said, Kogito generates everything for me, so there is already an endpoint. So I'm here, this can be closed so you can see better. I'm just calling a simple command to the localhost hiring endpoint, okay? Sending some candidate data and some skills, yeah? So here is a reply. So the reply says there's a process with ID like this, and there's an offer for senior software engineer, etc. Let me just do it more times, so we have something to see there. And if I go back here, I can now see process instances. And you can explore the process instance. You can see in which state it is currently. So it's waiting for HR interview. Here is a timer. So at some point, there are some jobs. Basically, this job is something that watches the process, and if it expires, it will trigger the job. And here are some tasks. So let's say here I want to impersonate that I'm John Doe. This is like something so we can show you easily how it works. And I can go here and say that, okay, I approve him. So I'll complete this. So HR interview passed. So if I go to process instance, hopefully it's this one, but now it's on IT interview. So another task is added to you that I can again take, approve, yeah, complete that. And now that I will have, yeah, this is already completed, so I need to change the statuses to completed to actually see that. And you can see that the process here. And again, the data of this process is in database. So on top of the database, you can do monitoring tools like Prometheus dashboards or whatever. And again, it's pick and choose. It's not baked in, so if you need it, you can easily implement it. But it's not offered because it would be too heavyweight, right? And this is like modular. the jobs should be expiring soon. One is expiring already. So, for example, here you can see this expired, so it fired the send notification, which can send email, for example, and deny the application. So, this is how you would build the application with Kogito. Okay, so you create the process, define the workflow, and then you can run it. You basically build a container, a Quarkus application that you can then take and deploy to Kubernetes easily. However,
you can override and extend.
Sorry?
For these generated endpoints and so on, you can extend them, like override them.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're generated for you, so you shouldn't be needing to override them. But if you need, actually, I'm not sure if you can, if you ever like come across someone doing that.
And when it comes to security?
Security, I mean like.
For example, just for approving, then not just for somebody with a specific token or so.
So that is based on Quarkus. So you just configure the Quarkus application to do whatever security you need, and it should be like just there. It should just work. Okay, so that's a showcase how the Kogito does it. For Kogito, there is again no CLI to work with Kubernetes clusters, so the deployments, etc., you need to do manually and by yourself. On the other hand, we have. Hopefully, this will not break the things again. Okay, good. On the
maybe one more question. So
yeah, go ahead.
There is also a programmatic API if I would like to somehow automate this, or I need to always go through HTTP?
You can even make a always from HTTP, like triggering the processes, or what exactly you mean?
If I would like to do meta workflow, like trigger workflow based on some logic,
Mm-hmm.
there is like a normal programmatic API that I can invoke in Kogito.
Yes, there is Java Fluent API. Yes, you can do that.
But in a sense, you can do like more stuff.
Yes. So it like the technology gets more advanced the more advanced you can, but it allows you. There are examples that show you how to do it, but for the showcase, I mean, it would take too long. Yeah, but
maybe one more question. Like I understand that this runs inside Quarkus application now, so like that whole UI thing is Kogito. If I would like to somehow like make a nice form going in steps, can I somehow like externalize this?
yes. So in the end, you would deploy your Kogito application as a service somewhere, which would expose the endpoints to trigger the workflows. But you can create your own workbench, your own application that would just send requests to these endpoints with proper data. So that's one of the benefits of Kogito, that you just create a microservice, and then on top of it, you can already have existing UI applications that you can just connect. Okay.
Can I ask? So we usually serve one process with one Kogito application.
You can have more in there.
More, okay.
You can have more, it will generate more endpoints. So the endpoint is here hiring, because the name of the process is hiring process, so it will, based on the process name, generate the endpoints. You can override these with some attributes, application properties, but yeah, you can have more.
So we basically split the processes based on domains.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think the best approach is to actually have it separated, because when you deploy it, they can run separately, and they can, like, the load is not shared, for example, in the one deployment that you create. But it depends.
So we suggest to have each process deployed separately. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Since you mentioned it, like the whole workflow is single process.
The whole local represent the process, that's a definition, and you can have as many instances of it as you want.
So there is like a concept of parallelization inside the workflow.
This is based on jBPM engine, so this is more like recursive, written in a recursive manner. So it's all in single thread, but using the wait state, etc., it allows you to create the long-term ones, but it's in a recursive way. So if you have, like, let's say, parallel branching, it's still in the same thread. But the new things are written in a better way. This was written a way old, and jBPM is like that, or the old implementation. I mean, it's current implementation. So. Okay, so then another project that sparked from jBPM is SonataFlow. It's again a tool for building cloud-native workflow applications. Workflow process workflow, right? Okay, so it will be interchanged a bit, but essentially the same thing. And you might think that these definitions are very much same as with Kogito. And why are they in the same community or same projects and doing the same stuff? So there is like a split where SonataFlow is without human interaction. So Kogito implements the VS human task specification where SonataFlow has no human interactions and is mainly targeted for services and event orchestration. Okay? And currently, SonataFlow implements the serverless local specification from CNCF community, with version 0.8. And thanks to that, it's vendor neutral and portable, or the CNCF serverless local specification is vendor neutral and portable as specified by them. So, couple of information about the SonataFlow. So, it uses the same jBPM engine as Kogito. So it's we are using the same capabilities, same things as Kogito uses, but we have different parser. But internally we can translate them, or when you run workflow for SonataFlow, it's essentially the same as in Kogito, with the difference that there is no human task. And one of the biggest one of the reasons why this was done is because part of the community felt that the BPMN2 specification is it's based on XML, so BPMN2 is XML, and it's kind of like big, hard to read, not very user friendly. So that's why the serverless local specification was chosen, because it uses YAML and JSON, which we think is better to like write and develop in. Again, this is very much subjective, but if you compare workflow in SonataFlow and in Kogito, in Kogito we found an editor. It's very hard to read the business process specification. In SonataFlow you just get JSON, and that's easier to read. So even without editors, you are able to understand what's happening. Yeah, so SonataFlow offers traditional Quarkus approach, but also no-code approach. So you can have Quarkus applications where you work with Java, do all Java shenanigans that you want to do, or you can also go with no-code approach where you only develop your workflow in JSON, and everything else is done for you. Okay? So SonataFlow is more oriented on cloud, and it's also more integrated with cloud, where it offers toolings like CLI that allow you to just use it to deploy and create deployments on Kubernetes clusters. Some more information or more statements about SonataFlow. So it's easily integrated with service and existing events using cloud events. So if you have if you already have systems that use eventing or communicate with events, you can easily integrate SonataFlow there, because you will just make it listen to your events, do stuff, and produce something for you that gives you value. There are also options to directly call REST services in architecture ecosystem. You can do either async or sync methods. But again, this both are supported, but again depends on which you choose and the requires what option you are going with. One key difference also is that in BPM and spec, the REST, how you interact with the services, is not defined. It's very vendor specific. So if I say some vendors for Camunda and Signavio, both of them handle REST calls differently. But in serverless workflow specification, it's part of the standard. So you can take your workflow and run it on different engines without issues, which is like a good thing to consider in like migrations, etc. Yeah, and lastly, that internal service execution or invocation. So SonataFlow is also a workflow framework to build applications, so you can also create services with it. And yeah, so you can use it to create services in Centred and to run a lightweight workflow-based application within the same instance again. And lastly, I already mentioned it, it provides operator. So in SonataFlow, we have operator that helps you manage your workflow application deployments on Kubernetes clusters. It's there, you can check it out. There are vast configuration options to manage your deployments, like how to manage replicas or which build system uses, etc. We will try to show it. So, and we provide custom Kubernetes resources like SonataFlow build platform, cluster platform, and SonataFlow. So these are things that the operator works with. Here is an example, so we can compare, or so we can see the difference. This is a hello world example, and looks like this. So you have some ID, some version, some name, some description, and some states. Yeah, so this is a simple workflow that will inject the string hello world into the process data and ends. Okay? So now again we have showcase. Hopefully it will work. Good. That's not the one. Yeah. So bigger, better. So similar to jBPM space, we also have some sort of tools that help you model things. This is again not nice. So here, as well. So here is my process. This is a simple example where you want to get fact information. Okay, it's very simple. So, but essentially shows you how to create a simple SonataFlow service or simple service that will take some input, do a decision, and then does something based on decision. So it's very useful when you don't need much long processes, or let's say you have two legacy systems and you want to like merge those data to some new database. Okay, so you have IDs there, you have names there, so you pair them together in your workflow and store the results in some database, which is new and meets your requirements now, right? And you can integrate it with the other services. It uses OpenAPI, so I have this OpenAPI specification for the CatFact API, so it's simple REST service, it's a public service, so you can check it out. It just returns nice things about cats, in this case. And the process, it's workflow, it's written in JSON. Here we get the CatFact. Apologies. So here we decide what to do. So this is a decision state, and whatever happens, either we get static fact or random fact. So workflows here, they work with JQ. So you can see that here is a state, it's a switch state, and based on the data I get, so you can use jQuery to just, if there is a fact that is equal to random, I will transition to get random fact. If not, I will just get some static fact. Okay? And yeah, the static file scans are very cute. Otherwise, it will query some REST service and return something for you. And hopefully, I'm still there. SonataFlow comes with the CLI, so running something like this, can work for deploy, will take whatever Kubernetes cluster you have running, so it uses the queue config. So if you are logged into OpenShift, it will do it there. And it will process your workflows, create resource specification, YAML specifications, and deploy it. Now, that should be visible here. So I can see there's something happen here. So this is my SonataFlow, which is already deployed on OpenShift, for example. You can see the spec here, so it's the same thing. But what is nice about this, so this is dev mode, so it's automatic, I bet. I just got lost in the UI, that's my problem, apologies. Topology, and oh, it's already here, my bad. So this deployed the workflow application in dev mode directly into OpenShift for me. So I'll just showcase using dev UI there. I could talk about these edges, so it's more like for this talk, like more complex examples are not really necessary or not really good. Or it's still being built, so we need to wait a bit. But again, it shares the similar tooling with the Kogito part, so this is very similar to what we already seen. However, there is like a bit different how it looks, right? So I want to trigger the workflow. So in order to show the integration, let's do the random fact. It will execute it. I can see the workflow. I can see what was triggered and when. I can see eventually, or maybe as usual for the showcase, it won't work. Yeah, but you can see what path the process taken. You can see the data. So if you didn't know, you check your cat's paws on the inside of back tie, where the leg joins the body. A normal cats have 1 to 10 to 170 beats per minute, right? And this is very simple, but you can do almost anything with that. There's jQuery inside of it, so you can do anything you want with the data. You can integrate it with not just REST services or gRPC services, or you can even call Python from it if you want. There is an extension for it. So it's very customizable, same as Kogito, but it is targeted to be designed for applications without human interaction, just orchestration and events. And eventing is also baked in. So here you can see that if I want to trigger, I can trigger it as a cloud event. So that should be there, but we're not going to do it right now. So yeah, this is a simple showcase. And since I'm done with testing, I can again use the CLI to undeploy it. It will delete the resources and nothing will be there.
KN is knative, right?
Yes.
So you actually deploy serverless function which runs Quarkus dev mode. Really? So the dev mode was running in OpenShift?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, and there are different options. You can deploy the workflow as a simple HTTP service. You can also use it as a Knative service. There are options. Again, if you're really interested, check the documentation. There's lots of options how to do stuff. But I am just trying to give you some perspective on how the project and what the project is done and how the jBPM is evolved. So that will be for the showcase. So let's go back to mirroring and hope nothing breaks. It is mirroring. Great. No, I should join this place. So now the last part. We'll be talking, hopefully, we'll be talking about Quarkus Flow. So what is Quarkus Flow? It's native-friendly workflow engine for Quarkus. That's the definition we have in documentation. It's lightweight and low dependency. So what I showed you so far, it always carries the burden of the jBPM engine, which is not that lightweight, and is single-threaded, for example, right? And has the recursive manner. So hence, we try to do something new, do it better, and the result is Quarkus Flow. This one is built on CNCF server specification, but 1.0. So while SonataFlow uses 0.8, which we've frozen and will be probably staying on that, Quarkus Flow is based on the 1.0 specification and uses the new engine implementation, which is part of the CNCF community in the SDK Java repository. Okay, so we took the lessons learned from the jBPM time and created a new engine that is based on this specification and actually supports multi-threading. Okay. So in the Quarkus Flow, what does it do? It allows you to model classic workflows, processes, and agentic AI or integrations, orchestration with first-class CDI Quarkus ergonomics. Okay, so Quarkus is all the benefits of Quarkus you have with Quarkus Flow. Quarkus Flow is the extension. So why would you want to use Quarkus Flow? So it's CNCF compliant, so that's good. That CNCF specification, serverless workflow specification is kind of good. I think it's very nice, and you also have a fluent Java DSL. It has fast start, low footprint, it's Quarkus native friendly. You have CDI first, so there's great developer experience, and it's agentic AI ready. So we can orchestrate Langchain4j agents as workflow tasks. So you would create a business process, and if something needs to be workflow AI task, you can do it very easily. Again, a couple of more marketing or benefits talk. So with Quarkus Flow, you can reduce time to market for automation. So you can easily model cross-service processes, IPI, events, agents, using consistent DSL, and you have Quarkus dev node feedback. So the moment you make a change, you can see if it works. Yeah, so the time to market is essentially reduced. Lower operational risk, what I mean by that is that everything is a typed Java flow. So you have the type, you have unit integration test baked in, and also there's Quarkus observability, which results in a fewer production surprises. Yeah, you can govern AI interactions. So while you create the processes, you can encode and build in some guardrails, critic revise loops, compliance checks. And these can be explicit tasks. So let's say AI agent does something, you can bake a new task that will check it and validate that it's meeting your demand and doesn't do anything that is not to your desire. And improve portability and longevity. So the concepts like map to the CNCF workflow spec. So you are lowering the replatforming, and you don't need to vendor lock in yourself because CNCF is vendorless. Again, more via Quarkus Flow. So you do orchestration in some language and runtime as services. Developers implement and review workflows in Java and using familiar Java tooling and CI. Compliance and auditability of automated decisions. So the flows you create in Quarkus Flow are explicit code. So you review them, you test them, you have logs for traceability, etc. for audit. So all of the benefits of software development are like when you develop a process is the same. Human in the loop control for AI. You can encode like pause, review, approve steps into your workflows easily. So AI agent does something, you can create a task that will wait for human approval. So you don't do something that is bad for a business and keeps the human in control, which maybe at some time in the future we do not want, but for now it's really necessary. Resilience and recoverability. So you can declare retries, error paths, event listeners that would that will make your failure behavior predictive. And lastly, there is observability and supportability. So it integrates Quarkus metrics, logging because it's Quarkus ecosystem, performance and scalability in Quarkus in cloud environment. So yeah, Quarkus native compatibility support fast start and high density for microservices. So in serverless. Standards element, the task, events, data mapping and transitions aligned with CNCF, with the specification. So it will ease you the long-term maintenance because you have some basic specification underneath. And lastly, extensibility for AI integration. So you can integrate LangChain for agents, HTTP open API calls, and also messaging tasks. All of that can be combined into one model. Okay, so one task, one task will call you AI agent, second task will do an HTTP call, and then it will send a message to Kafka or event, etc. And everything in one single model. So, enough marketing talk, let's do showcase. Okay, and for that I need hello flow, or even better, I need, this can be closed, this can be also closed. For that I will show you this. So I invite you all to try this workshop yourself. It's very easy and straightforward. Hopefully it will work. But this will walks you through how to use Quarkus Flow. Okay, so first lab is very simple. We already shown this in Kogito or SonataFlow, but this is how to create basic process using Quarkus Flow. So if you let's say decide that SonataFlow Kogito is not up to your needs, and you want to use Quarkus Flow, you would follow these steps. So you create Quarkus application, add dependency of Quarkus Flow, and here you create the workflow. So using Java, so all you need to do to create workflow, you would use func workflow builder to create workflow named hello, and that is a task that will just message hello world. That's all. It's very simple, and then you build it. You would expose it to REST, so here there is no code generation for you, so you expose what you want to expose, gives you there's more developer control on what the application should do. You will start, and when you approach hello flow, you will start an instance and transform. You can have record, and again, once you do this, you can Maven Quarkus dev. I think it should be prepared right here. Something's not right. So let's see if I didn't forget something. Probably not. Maybe I did. That's fine. Never mind. Okay. Something is using the port, so let me find what is using that port.
Maybe
Yeah, this one. Yep. So I forgot to write myself to close the processes after, and that's my bad. Good. So now it should be fine. Yeah. So again, if you are developing something here, you can see this card. And currently, the project is currently on version 0.4.1, so we are working towards 1.0 release. And here is the hello flow. So if I look at it, this is again just very early stages. The visualization tools are not that developed, but you can see that this is some sort of flow, and you can trigger it. Start a workflow and see the output. Okay. Well, and this lab just walks you through how to do basic stuff. For example, then it will teach you how to call HTTP processes or an Open API services. So this shows you how to create a workflow that will do stuff with other. And again, you can see how this works and what to do. So I will skip this because it's not that interesting. Same with Lab 3, this will just tell you how to make sure that you can trigger a workflow using events. So if you send an event, it will. So what you need to do is again add a dependency and enable it using some configuration here. And also you can use YAML files. That is still supported, but you have both options. You can either use the Fluent API in Java, or you do the uppercase, the workflow in uppercase. This is just a workflow that will uppercase your message. What is interesting are these agentic workflows. Okay, so here we showcase how to create a workflow that will do something like AI agent. So to do that, you need to add dependencies. So you need the Quarkus LangChain 4j Olama, which is this is different based on which provider of the LLM you want to. So if you want OpenAI, there's OpenAI extension, right? So what you need to do for this, you need to define some sort of agent. And how do you do that? So here we create a record. This is a simple record that would that you use for investment memos. Some prompt, because if you want to store the prompts, you can do that. And then you define the agent. And how to define the agent? It's like this. So you make it application scoped, you use annotation register AI service, and then you do some system message. So this is something to configure the agent. So you are careful conservative investment analyst, given a stock ticker, a description of something, an investment horizon, and a compact JSON snapshot of market data, you must respond with a short JSON document that can be mapped to following data object and some clarification to be concise and our marketing language. Yeah, it's an interface, and here is the operation that it does. So it analyzes stuff. Hey, so this is some user message. So there's ticker objective. Here is the JSON market data snapshot you should analyze. Produce an investor memo JSON as specified above. Yeah, so some key points. The register AI service turns the interface into CDI beam backed by your chosen LLM. System message sets the static instruction and output schema. And user message combines user intent and serialized market data from the HTTP call. And the method returns strongly typed DTO. Okay? So instead of reckoning strings, you have it typed, so that's good. Here we have part of this lab. The API for market data is just mock, okay? Because there is like not really need to deploy here. And then is the most like important part. You need the flow. Okay, so again, flow here is created using Java class. So you extend the flow class, and then you create a descriptor. So we want a workflow that is investment memo, and here you specify the tasks. So firstly, you get the market data, you do something with it, and then you call the LM agent, which is this. So investment analysis agent, you want to call analyze using this investment prompt, and it gives you some output. So since I already have it running, I can just show it. So here is the investment flow that I created, and I'll provide following object. So there's some sort of ticker. What's my objective and how was the horizon? So now I can start it, and you can see what it does. So workflow name hello was completed, so that's fine. So here we have workflow name investor memo started. This is my input. Now I'm triggering task fetch market data, requesting something. This is the return, and now the task is completed with these outputs. And now I'm doing the task investor analyst, which actually creates the LLM and returns some result, which can be seen. Did I open it somehow? I'm sorry. Okay, now it's here. Let's do it again, just so we can see the output. Yeah, so it replies to me. So Canadian Solar offers relatively high dividend yield, but its valuation is near all-time highs with PE ratio of 28.4, and it also gives me some risks. So stance is avoid. Yeah. Yep. So this is how we can do it. And one last thing. Maybe more complex example. I will end it afterwards. So same thing. This is using LangChain for J agentic workflows. So it's invoking agents and using LangChain for J. Let's quickly roll this. Here I have two workflows, evening planning agent and story creator with configurable style editor. So let's do evening planning. So let's say I'm in Brno. Again, this form is also, you can create them for you. It's there. And I want to have party, right? So let's see what the workflow says. Or maybe it should replace here. Okay. So what did the workflow say? So in City Brno, and if I'm mood for party, I should head to Umeda, a lively pub in Brno's old town, right? So, and just to quickly show you what's behind that. So you have the agents class. Okay, it's not zooming for me for whatever reason, but I'm creating some AI service with interface. It has several. So LangChain4j allows you to define agents in. I really would like to zoom it in, but.
Shift and representation.
Sorry?
Shift and representation.
Oh, I meant like that. Better? Okay. So in LangChain4j you have several ways to define workflow agent. It can be sequential or parallel or more. So if you want to have sequential workflow, which is story creator, I didn't show it, but essentially you tell him what you want to do, how you want to do it, and it calls several agents in sequence. So you define it like this. So you say sequence agent, output key story, and some sub-agents. So you have creative writer, audience editor, and style editor. And each of them is a AI service that you define as an agent. Description, again, you provide the system message that I showed before, and then some user message. And you want to create a draft. So then there's the audience editor, which again, you provide some endpoint, some system message, some user message, and based on the input, it will adapt the story, so it matches the audience. And then it's style, so based on what style you choose, it will adapt the output of previous agents to match the style. Yeah, and the second option is the parallel workflow, which was the evening planner that we shown. So again, I have an agent, I define some evening plan, and here is how to do the parallel agent. So you again have some sub-agents, dinner agent, drink agent, and activity agents, and they all work in parallel. Yeah, and the same thing, interfaces with system messages, and everything is done for you with using LangChain4j.
This is pure LangChain4j, or like is this like any of the annotations Quarkus Flow specific?
Quarkus Flow is the how do I exit?
Alt 1.
No, not working.
No, then shift and presentation.
Okay. So Quarkus Flow is no, this is just pure LangChain4j. This is just pure LangChain4j. So the workflows are like done by the LangChain4j for you. It's still like being developed, trying to work toward the 1.0, so any feedback is welcome. And yeah, that would be it. So you can see some sort of visualization how it works. Okay, so you start, everything is done in parallel, and there's then combined output. Well, here I need to, but let's say topic horror, style, chill, audience, Java user group. Where? Ah. Oh well. Oh, that will take some time, I guess. But yeah, so that was the showcase. Here are some links to relevant websites, Foldocs, REPL, LangChain4j, our KIE Apache website, and the workflow specification, and it's still doing things, so Just a quick summary. So we discussed what the process is, what is business process, and how to implement it in traditional BPMN suits, right? I showed you how the jBPM community, what the jBPM community provides and how it operates, how it developed solutions to the business process management problem and discipline. I showed you the monolithic approach, how it started 10 years ago, and how we built towards the cloud native era, and then some key differences between Kogito and SonataFlow, and how the community handles them. And lastly, let's say the pinnacle of all the knowledge that the community collected over the years developing jBPM, which is Quarkus Flow and integration with AI agents. So hopefully you learned something today or found out new technology, new projects. So thank you for your attention, and again, if you have questions, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe I will couple.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, I had a chance to work with the activity framework, but it seems to me like much less complex than the GPM, right?
Activity framework.
Yeah, it was a little bit similar, right? Also basically multiple process and model them, but it was in the end like just you schedule jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, if it's moved somehow or just like that.
Well, in business process, each of those steps, but part of it's like activity. So I would say, I don't know which framework you mean, but essentially everything is like activity, but it's like maybe play with words, like it can be activity, it can be task, but yeah.
And yeah, another question, I think currently like the standard for the optimization is make, right? But it's different, completely different use case, right?
Sorry, so automatization is pain, you said?
Make, like the make framework, like the make technology. Right?
Make, yeah.
Yeah, so but it's different use case, right? You can do everything, make without the code, but you will probably do things like GPM, right?
So not sure I understand the question.
I'm asking if you can compare, like, make. I'm asking what's the, like, big.
You mean like make files?
But I can, like.
Well, the key difference is, I mean, make file is not everyone understands it.
Not the make file, like the make. Never mind.
No worries.
Never mind that. It's like the platform where you can do like the optimization and the workflows without coding.
I don't know about it. I didn't come in touch with that, so
Yeah, don't worry.
I'll check it out definitely.
Yeah, don't worry. It's completely different. So I was just like asking about the.
I mean, the whole discipline or the way the workflows, it's everywhere. Like a lot of companies do their own workflow engines. Here we are in open source space, so we try to get feedback from everyone. A lot of the development was customer driven, so a lot of the features are based on customer feedback. And yeah, now we are asking the same with the Quarkus Flow. Anything else? Okay, great. Yeah, I will end it that we got a repli, and here is a horror story for audience Java user group. So I won't read it out loud, but I'll leave it open here if you want to. So thank you very much, and I see you hopefully when we have 1.0 released.